So what is doing the wrong thing in your business actually costing you? Well, first of all, you need to identify what are the wrong things and what are the right things. A lot of people fall into denial thinking that they're making the right investments, they're hanging around the right people, they're getting the right advice, when they're not actually getting the right advice for their own goals that they want to achieve. They're going into a treadmill of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, think that by getting advisors in is going to help them, but actually the advisor has different alternatives than what they're after. Okay, so in this episode, I'm going to give you 4 pointers that you can use to make sure that you are on the right track and that you can do today to align not just you and your business and your right advisors for you, but to also get results a lot faster so you don't waste time and money. So what is the true cost of getting it wrong? Well, first of all, what do I mean about getting it wrong? Okay, so look, if you are having a go and you're learning along the way, you keep trying new stuff, you keep taking actions, and it feels like you're not getting anywhere, here is a reality check for you. You are getting somewhere. Right? A lot of people that I work with, business owners, even my own businesses, the people that I employ, they feel frustrated sometimes because they want stuff to happen quicker. Now, happen quicker isn't the variable that we need to focus on here. You can't control happen quicker as an outcome. You can control the input to happen quicker, which would be take more actions, think, and make decisions faster and not procrastinate. And the reason this gets people causes procrastination is because they want it to happen quicker and get the result quicker with perfection. They want to they want to make it right. They want to make sure that they're doing everything right. And then actually by over planning it, there's so many people that go, I'm going to go and take more planning days. I'm going to start to do this. Yeah, now look, yeah, okay. There's a belief out there, a good saying that planning to fail is failing to plan. Look, you can have the best fucking plan that you want and sit and do as much planning with as many people as you want. Not taking any steps further forward and not executing is the actual variable. Okay, plan times plan does not equal result. Plan times execution equals result. In fact, execution times execution also equals result. So the variable in that equation is execution that makes the correlation to result. Now, is it the right result? Yeah. Well, if I go and plan, Lewis, I can plan for the right result. Yeah. Awesome. You can plan for the right result and you are going to get some better decisions. What's the point climbing that ladder, doing all this hustle, and then getting to the top of the ladder and realizing you're in the wrong place? But it's not the plan that's actually getting you a better result there because you're also having to climb the ladder. Yeah. Putting the ladder up a different wall, not climbing it, doesn't get you a result. Now, the reason I say this is because planning people tend to want to plan more. They love the getting togetherness and planning. But what I see is that they're not also active in the execution part. I'm trying to frame this in a nice way. That's why I'm losing words, by the way. They're not executing. They're not getting shit done. Okay. So if you execute and get more stuff done, you learn along the way and you can adapt your plan as well. So there needs to be 10%, 5%, 10% of planning and a lot of execution. There also needs to be 10% of the feedbackness. Yeah. Feeding forward. And this goes for all your team members. So I love people that come and join my businesses and they go, oh, yeah, I'm all about strategy and planning and blah, 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 blah. Great. We are too. We've got visionaries. We've got planners and strategic thinkers. What we're missing in this world is executing, action takers, right? Where are they? Show me them. So I have a lot of meetings in business and they'll say, look, Lewis, we want you to come set up in Dubai. We want to come in to set up in Australia, in the US. Great, let's go there. And we meet the people and it's like, okay, so where's the sales then? What have you done to actually get some sales in? Show us the numbers, show us the figures. How is all this business planning actually going to come to fruition? Yeah. And if they turn around and go, well, here's the inquiries, here's the orders, it's evidence, right? Now, that's the hard stuff. The planning isn't hard. And people love planning because it's the easy bit. Getting the result is the hard bit. Okay. So that's the first thing that's the true cost of getting it wrong is thinking differently, right? To get it right, you actually need to get it wrong multiple times by executing. Yeah. By taking more steps forward and learning. Go before you know. There's some wise words that were said to me. Go before you know. Okay. Alan, if you're listening, thanks for that. I use that all the time now. So yeah, you have to go before you know, because if you plan too much, you will be in this state of plan, 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 and never any execution. In fact, I see a lot of people doing yearly planning, 30-day planning, 90-day planning, quarterly, whatever it may be. And it's the same fucking plan. It's the same stuff. So the variable that's missing is action. Okay. So the true cost of getting it wrong is in the action, it's in the execution. Okay. If you go and execute, you will get it right by learning and then doing the feedback and feed forward sessions, the realignment. Okay. So how do you know you're getting the right advice around you? Okay. So for many, many years as well, I would have a circle around me. And this is the reason why we do this boardroom table podcast, is to give you the right circle and get the right advisors. Me giving you experience as a business owner and business coach, mentor, of being there and seeing it in multiple businesses and working with multiple businesses and bringing the people onto the podcast from different experience. Okay. But what you'll notice is the people that come on are all aligned to the mission of the podcast. And that mission of the podcast is to help people at different stages of business break through. Your advisors in your pocket. Now, different stages may mean that they can't afford 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month. Some of my consultants that I have in my business, 20,000 a month consultants, because they bring heavy return. They add another 5 million on revenue. Yeah. So if you're invested in the right stages, you're going to face that right constraint, was in the last podcast, what we spoke about, and you're going to scale. Now, for a lot of people that are listening to this podcast, that might be that they're not at that stage yet where they can't afford the consultants or the mentors or the coaches. Yeah. And then for a lot of people as well that are listening to this, they've already done that stuff and they're going, yeah, that was the one thing that really moved me forward. Why are we not doing it again? Why are we not doing it again? Why did we continue that? Was it because of something that happened in the economy? Was it something where we got a little bit scared and we cut all things off our overheads and things like that? The thing that actually got us there, right? But let's focus on the people that are at the start of the journey. Yeah, at the start of the journey, you need to make sure that the true cost of getting it wrong can really cost you millions. And by not having that right circle around you and the right people that have been there and done it, are talking about alignment. The people that come on this podcast as the mentors and the advisors, the business owners that are doing it, are aligned to the mission of this podcast, which is to help people like you, okay? Breakthrough, people that may not be in a position yet to be able to afford this, or people that are in the position to afford it, that are not thinking the things that others may be thinking that moves them forward. Now, the people that also come on this podcast, they have shared values, yeah? They want to make more of an impact. They want to share their experience. They want to mentor people, right? So where are you getting your advice from? Where are you hiring people? Okay. So how many things does this apply to? Getting it wrong could mean the wrong hire. Okay. Now, the wrong hire can cost you a lot of money, but it only costs you a lot of money if you don't learn from it. So it's an example. Getting the wrong coach, getting the wrong mentor in your business. If you get it wrong, at least you've learned what does work and what doesn't work. So I've done it a few times where I've got somebody on board and I've gone, yeah, look, this hasn't worked for me as an employee, or maybe as a subcontractor. I remember last year I spent a lot of money. I'm talking like tens of thousands on a subcontractor, and at the end of it, I was pretty pissed off that I didn't get the result that I wanted from them. But I didn't go back and complain. I just cut it quite short and said, well, thank you for teaching me the lesson of what I do need. And then I went and found the person that could. It was a marketing consultant. So I learned the lessons from the person from spending the money, and then I adapted to get the right person. And then I always invest in consultants and mentors and coaches. I go to the conferences and things, and because I want to learn that stuff, not just from my own businesses, but I also want to learn it to help others as well on these podcasts and the people that I coach and mentor. And by me doing that, it shows my ongoing learning. Because if you don't learn, and if you are a mentor, or a coach, or a manager, or a leader, if you're not learning as a leader, you are also holding back your own growth, but also the followers' growth, yeah, your clients or your team members. So the second one is learning. Actually, to the true cost of getting it wrong, if the person that you're taking advice from or being led by is not learning consistently, then it's going to hold you back too. Okay. So you need to make sure that one, you've got somebody that is aligned. Two, they're always learning. Now, where does learning come from? It doesn't mean just listening to podcasts and reading books, academic papers. It's about their circle. Are they prepared to go out of their circle, their I know circle, where they're just gathering information and being an advisor, to also take learnings from people that may not be as good as them in what they do? But look, as long as there's gold nuggets, by watching someone come through the ranks and doing other stuff as well, they learn of what learning in 2025 looks like. So remember, people who have done it for a long time learnt it a long time ago, and the world is different today. Growing a business, for example, in 2000 or 1980 or 1960, whatever it may be, growing a business internationally, the way businesses grow in the UK versus the businesses that I'm growing in Dubai, in the UAE, different, right? Different, but I'm exposed to learning. Learning new things out there is different to the way it works in the UK. The way the US, a lot of podcasts and books and experts that appear on podcasts in the UK. Yeah, look, your life isn't, you haven't just been, for the people that are listening right now, when was the last time that you got shipped over on a private jet to come and do a podcast? Yeah. These people aren't living lives like we are. Okay. Not yet. What we aren't yet anyway. But always get the learning from the people that are doing the stuff that you're doing in today's world. Okay. So, international business, what year did they learn it? Are they actually doing it today? So, that moves on to number three of making sure that you're getting it right is learn from people that are doing it. If you've got goals that you want to achieve, if you've got similar mission, what about the person you're learning from, the circle that you're around, the people that you're bringing in, the managers and directors that might be training your team members? Are they actually living what they say they're doing? Why would you get advice from somebody that is not doing it? Okay. So make sure that the way you're getting it from is somebody that is actually, for example, when I'm coaching businesses, I own 8 businesses and I'm growing them internationally. I understand. And some of them are new businesses as well. So I understand startups in 2025. I understand what it's like to take businesses international in 2025. People who have done that 20, 30 years ago and some corporate stuff, great. There's a lot of experience around it. But is it what you want? Is it what you need? Is it going to solve the constraint in your firm? So have a good think about that, because the true cost of getting it wrong is that you could be in denial where you're sitting around the wrong boardroom table, the wrong people. So who do you need to remove from your boardroom table? I mean, when I say boardroom table, by the way, it can be your psychological boardroom table. Okay. So maybe you're getting advice from your stepdad or an uncle or an auntie or sister, something like that. People who want the best for you, but it's not helping you move forward. Okay. So number three was people that are doing it and actually achieving it. And even if they're not achieving it, they're pursuing that goal. They're on that journey of the learning and the development towards getting there. And I'll tell you what, it's really powerful, especially when, if you was to come and hang around our ecosystem, for example, where I've got a lot of businesses and business coaching clients, and they all come along into this ecosystem where they're all talking together and we do like Zoom events, etc. And they just go, you know what, this is magical, isn't it? Because we're all aligned to doing the same thing. And then the cross business, they're all sharing business amongst each other because they all are aligned to the same sort of mission, learning the same stuff, learning marketing funnels, how to do stuff like these podcasts, how to do webinars, blah, blah, blah. It keeps on going. And then accounting, finance, operations, it all just starts to create an ecosystem. And there's no reason why you guys can't do the same as well, as long as you make sure you're doing the right stuff. Is this the right stuff you need to be focusing on? Of course. That's why we do the boardroom table as well. So we're exposing you to what that's like. And number four, ultimately, just make sure you do the right thing. So we spoke about doing the wrong things, getting it wrong. Okay. Do the right thing means if you were to get advice from people from your circle and okay, they seem aligned, they're learning, they're quite helpful, just make sure they're doing the right thing as well. You know, do it ethically. Do their values and how they're demonstrating their values align to what you would value in not just your culture, your business culture, but your own personal values as well. Okay. The way they do stuff. And I've met a few people before that have hosted big events, and I thought, oh, this is great. If I go there, I could be a part of that community and do this. And I've looked at the character and the person, and not to say I'm an angel, by the way. If you listen to me, I drop a few f bombs on these things. Not everyone agrees with it, but it's authentic to who I am. And the people that come and sit around the boardroom table with me and go on the journey, my advisors, and then I'm advisor for other people as well, other businesses. They are aligned where they do talk like that. In fact, they're the ones that are dropping the f bombs more than I do. Okay, and it's not just about that. What I'm saying here is that they have very similar values, different, very similar, authentic ways of doing stuff. And when I've seen things in the past, I've gone, that could be really helpful for me. However, there's a few dents in that person when I start to listen to them or read about them or look into it a little bit more. And I'm like, do you know what? Something just doesn't fit right there. Something doesn't fit right there. And trust your gut instinct there that you're probably right. There's enough people out there that can help you. I always say to people as well when I'm sitting with them on maybe like a discovery call or something like that, where they could be looking at potential mentoring. I'm saying, look, I don't think I'm right for you right now. This person would be. They actually had someone the other day turn around and say, "What you don't want me to be, you don't want to mentor me. It feels like you don't want to mentor me, Lewis." I'm like, it's not that. It's just that I want to make sure I'm the right person for you. Okay. So I didn't know enough about that person yet, and that's why we have meetings to go and explore further. But there's got to be a process there that you make sure that you are onboarding it, and somebody's not just there to take the money off you. Yeah. Otherwise, the true cost of getting it wrong is not just someone taking money from your business, but going on a journey with somebody that isn't right. Yeah. So ask yourself these 4 questions from today. Are they aligned to your mission, values, and goals? Are they learning the stuff and hanging around, what does their circle look like? Where they're getting advice from? Are they all authentic? Number 3, are they doing it? And number 4, are they doing the right thing? So use these 4 things as a filter to question yourself to make sure that you're on the right journey.